Hello and welcome to this, my next video in the Madden Championship season that I'm playing. It's week 3 and 5. The reason there's no week 4 is because it was my bye week. As if you don't know, the NFL has, each team has a bye week, 1 week within the regular season. Mine was early on, a week 4, so we are now doing week 3 first and then week 5. Week 3 was against the Patriots. They were computer controlled. They're not owned by anyone as yet, so it was a good game. I'm getting better playing the computer. Some of the people who play this pretty much beat the computer without any problems. I, on the other hand, am still learning the whole game as it is, and so here we go. Jarvis Landry, I've just re-signed him. He's a young, nice wide receiver to have. Jay Ajayi, good run for me there. Sometimes I find that the gaps open where you want them to, where you're expecting them to. I've done a lot of the practice runs, I've done a lot of practice play, but there are a lot of times where you think it should open up, but obviously the defense counters. I think when it loads it to that red line there, it shows you're not essentially going to make any ground because of what they're doing, and it's probably then that you should call an audible. Again, in the comments, let me know if that's the case. A little pass across the side there. Really annoyed because actually I got caught by that player. If I'd gone a little further wide of him, he was being blocked, he wouldn't have caught my leg as I'd gone past. Now, I've been finding out that this season, the way the game is set up with the sliders of what things are worth, actually it's weighted more towards the run being important than it is for the throwing. So you're likely to have more drop passes, you're likely to have more overthrows. Your quarterback isn't going to be as precise, unless of course they have, like, Tom Brady-esque sort of 99 stats. Someone like Tannehill, who's about an 82 overall quarterback, does all right. So here we go, my first drive. I'm now up to the first and goal. I'm very close, which is nice to have. I'd tried a run, I've tried throws in the past. I was able to do this. I see Jay Ajayi open in the end zone. He catches it in the end zone, and I actually, for the first time ever, get a touchdown. Now, what I'm finding with this kind of, I don't know if it's because I'm streaming or whether it's just the game online. All of this works fine. Playing the game here is fine. But the problem I have is with the kicker, and you'll see that in my week 5 game against the Titans, which is coming up very shortly. But you'll see here, I go for a point after attempt, which is what PAT stands for, if you didn't know. Where I'm clicking it and all the rest of it, it doesn't quite go as straight as it kind of used to. That one wasn't so bad. Because I wasn't playing someone else, maybe it wasn't as bad, but you'll notice in the next game some real problems that I've had with it. So again, that wasn't a bad kick. I was quite pleased with that.
And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line.
So the score now 9-7. So I'd scored my touchdown. I got a field goal in there. They've scored a touchdown, and the Patriots are now very close at the end of the fourth quarter to the goal line. I am doing my best to keep them from making any headway, and I've done pretty well so far. If you watch the full stream of this, which is available in a different playlist, what you'll see is they, on pre-snap, I had about 5 or 6 kind of false starts, which means their offense goes earlier than the ball being snapped, and they get penalised, and they go back for something like 35 yards. So it was like 1st and 35. But to end the game, a field goal, and I pressed the button early out of anger, and so I missed all that. So it's straight in here to the Titans. But the previous game there was 9-7. No, sorry, it was 9-10. They won by a single point. which was immensely frustrating, especially when I'd been doing so well with the game that time. So this time I am playing someone, Iconics. He is the Tennessee Titans, a good side, some good players they've got for this particular league. Again, Jarvis Landry here coming out, and I make it to just about the 20, which is essentially where you'd start if I'd stayed in the end zone. I've called, I believe, a run play with Jay Ajayi again to start. I'm not sure whether they get worse for me in the game because they tire. Again, my team isn't terrible. I did reasonably well and got through to 11 yards on the first run, which gave me a little confidence. It gave me a bit of hope that I'd be doing reasonably well this time. It's trying, because it's a sim league, to not use the same play every time. It's trying to work out what I have and haven't called. And again, not knowing what half these things are, it is just trying to make sure that I'm doing it within the spirit of the game and of the league, and not doing sort of. I think we're not meant to do too many play actions, which is what the PA is there. I'd have to reread the rules on that. So it's hard to when you're not understanding this to make sure you do it properly and make sure that what you're doing is within the rules. So far then you can see I've done reasonably well. I am pushing slowly but surely with throwing, with running up the field. That, however, he shifted his, I think they're linebackers in, giving me absolutely nowhere to go through the middle. Again, please in the comments let me know what you might have done. How would you change the play? Would you have run in a different direction? What would you have done that I could have done to improve? I prefer throwing. However, I haven't really got the strong enough team to do throwing, but I do prefer to throw the ball where I can. I kind of understand the play better than the run plays. I know that sounds daft, but I kind of know more what I'm looking for, and I'm getting better at trying to find the open receiver. And luckily at this point I had time in the pocket to really pick the right person to go with, and I was able to get the first down. I was, so far really chuffed with how I was playing. Really pleased with what was going on. Again, that was a handoff and he got absolutely crushed. So he's now losing yardage on his total for the game.
They tried to run the counter, just that the defense wasn't fooled.
And when they're not fooled, you see the end result, because what you're doing there, you mentioned the counter.
You'll notice in the full stream of this, when it's my turn, I'm trying a lot of different bits and pieces. I don't know how I didn't see the circle was open there. I really don't see how I didn't see he was wide open, which was dumb on my own part. So it's 3rd and 13. I am getting close to the end zone. This is, again, like in that last match, my first drive is always my most productive, as long as I can get the defense to be as productive afterwards. And there we go. I got a few yards, but not much. So it's going for a field goal. And herein starts my beef and problems with the game. I press the buttons. As you see, no lines happen. It does it completely wrong. And even the worst kicker in the NFL, as of today, would not miss that kick. I think we can all agree that would have been a field goal from 26 yards out. So that was my first point of getting really rather annoyed. With all the Formula 1 videos, with all the Madden playing, any games I don't mind losing. I do it for fun. I think it's a bit of a laugh, but it gets demoralising when you're doing the button presses and they're not even registering. And the annoyance is that they register for the throws here. So like these go when I want them to. Again, that's my fault for where I threw to. giving him 2 touchdowns in fairly quick succession. But again, his kick here, you'll notice that he straight down the middle, no problems. And that doesn't seem to happen with my kicker. So again, I don't know whether it's a certain button lag, whether it's I'm streaming at the same time as playing, at the same time as doing like a live game. So here we go again. Watch, I hit the button, nothing happens, and you'll see that they're both down the bottom. So I do a really poor kick to the halfway line, giving him plenty of space to make his way up the field. So this is that kick again in slow motion. You can see here it pulls up. Now watch this. I hit the X to start it off, which works at the right time. I'm trying to let it go to the top. I know not to let it go all the way to the top, but I never normally do that. Nothing seems to have registered, and it now, when it goes well past to the other end, there you go. It sort of registers down here. It just does. It doesn't make sense to me, and it's very annoying that. Again, I don't mind losing a game. I don't mind not being as good as everyone else. It's, I'm learning the game. That's absolutely fine. But when the game doesn't even allow you to be competitive, like here, I could punt this to give them, to make sure they're down at the very end. Now it was 4th and 7, and it's come back up with 4th and long, and again it's probably because it's 4th quarter and it's going for it. But I was adamant to do a punt. The trouble was when I was trying to find this as the clock is ticking down, is also knowing the menu systems. I find it in special teams, and I click X, and that. There we go. I'm trying to find punt, not get a field goal. So yeah, and I click X, I think, and so what I've done is a fake one, and I get obliterated near the line again. It's my fault. It's completely my error again. But you'll probably see, and there you go. So it's a fake one, and I don't make it obviously, and that's not a problem. But for me, just this whole point of the kind of kicking, where I'm trying to punt away, trying to be competitive with it, and the kicks aren't registering. So again, just an absolutely terrible kick, and he's much further up the field. As you can see there, I got absolutely annihilated, 38-0, which again is unfortunate. Here are the highlights from the game. He played well. He's a much better player than I am, and I've got no problem with that. So congratulations for winning. But it's I think I could have had a more productive defense where they're not so close to the goal line to make this kind of production. Now, the chances are he would have done them in just over a little bit longer time. And again, that's fine. But obviously, the longer the game runs, the less scoring he could have hopefully done. So you can see here, my passing yards are better than his at 128, but my rushing yards are atrocious at 36. It's frustrating. It's a good game. I like Madden. I'm quite enjoying the league side of it. I quite like the draft side of all that bit. But at the moment, if the kicking doesn't improve as I try and stream, I'll either have to not stream the matches, which is a shame because I kind of enjoy doing the videos. But if that doesn't kind of fix it, if that doesn't work, then I'll just have to leave and give my spot up to someone else, because I don't mind losing, but I hate losing when it's kind of a technology or part of the game that is causing me to lose. But let me know what you think. Let me know if there's anything I could do. Let me know what you think I should do with all that. If you've had this experience before, what fixed it? Do I just need a better kicker? Do I need to scout them for my draft? Please do in the comments. Let me know, and we'll see what happens. So until the next time, thank you very much for watching. I am at The Real TomTom on Twitter and here on YouTube.